All right, hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Bead Stash Challenge Week 41. Can you believe that? It's hard for me to believe, but we are here. Hope you guys all had a great weekend. I've had a fun weekend here. It was my husband's birthday weekend, so we've been celebrating and going out and having fun. I'm going to go out again tonight. Hey, Janelda. So apologize for being a little late, but you know, you guys are used to it anyway. So we're going to draw for our week 41 project today. Not a surprise because we only had one make card left, but we're going to do that. And then I thought we'd have a little fun making a skeleton for the holiday. You know, you can never have enough Halloween decorations, right? Or Christmas decorations, or turkeys for Thanksgiving. So, you know, remember, we still have kids. All right, so we are gonna, like I said, get on drawing today. I still don't have a time for Wednesday for our play date with Stars Beads, so I will post that as soon as I have it. And I will try to get the sale link posted today, or probably not. I don't know. I might be able to get it posted today. Definitely tomorrow. So you guys can get your stuff off the website or directly from me. It'll either way works fine. And we will have a couple new projects. The Saguaro. Look under where, see where I have it. The Saguaro sun catchers, and or you can make them ornaments. My mouth and sound are off. I just rebooted my link, so because I'm not getting notices on my end. Is it still good, or are you? It's because my my extra screen is so delayed that I don't you know, I can't tell. It does look like it was freezing a little bit, but let me know if that continues. Anyways, we will be having these. It's going to be a pair of sun catchers. So this is the smaller one. The large one is the same size as our Saguaro sculpture. So I was going to sell them as the pair. They're going to be around $20 to $22 for the pair, which is a pretty good deal because this one's $16 just by itself. Okay, but you will be getting directions for that. I'm also going to put the prickly pear ornament and or sun catcher on there as well. That one, I will have to double check the price on that one and let you know. But anyways, all that's gonna be posted soon. So anyways, we will get that going, and hopefully we do get things worked out on Wednesday. If for some reason we can't get things worked out on Wednesday with Stars Beads, we will go ahead and do our prickly pear make along next Sunday if it doesn't happen this Wednesday, okay? Because I don't want to keep putting it off. And then we'll just have a play date with Kay when we can get that arranged. But hopefully everything will work out for Wednesday. Like I said, typically she goes on anywhere between noon and 3:30 her time, East Coast time. So that's why I'd like to kind of get that firmed up. But I realize it's a challenge because she's got childcare issues. So, all right. All right, so let's flip it over and get started. I don't know why. So I have a little friend hanging out with me today. This is my skeleton king with big pumpkin bead. So he's gonna just hang out here until we make him a new friend, okay? All right, but first things first, let's get our business out of the way. We are going to draw for this week's project. As always, if you're new to us, we are the home of Bead Stash Challenge. Of course, anybody can do Bead Stash Challenge. These are cards to help your creativity. There's 3 kinds of cards. The first card is a make card. So if you're struggling with you know, a large pile of beads and you don't know where to start, you can draw a make card and it'll tell you what to make. The nice thing about this is either you'll be like, oh, okay, that's cool, I'll make that project, or you'll be like, oh, I don't really want to do that. So at least it gives you an idea of where you want to be. But we draw every week. Now we have 5 decks, and so there's 40, between the 5 decks, there's 41 make cards. So today's our last day, and then we will be reshuffling and starting with the full pile next Sunday. We also have the non-jewelry deck, the color deck, the Sun and Sea deck, and our Desert Southwest deck. So, but anyways, this week, we are going to make a necklace, and this card happens to be from our original deck. So, that one's somehow our leftover card, and we got all sorts of options there, right? All right, so our next cards are used cards. These were somewhat recently reshuffled. If you combine all the decks together, the used cards are the biggest pile. So these are the items we're going to pull out of our stash to use in our necklace. So we are going to use lava stone in our design this week. We are going to use fiber or beading thread in our design. Okay. And we are going to use cylinder or multi-strand clasp in our design. All right. It's probably a useful combination. Now, if you're drawing these at home, you can draw as many or as few used cards as you want. I like the challenge of 3. You know, and this time I got a nice mix. I got a type of bead, I got a type of stringing material, and I got a type of clasp. So we will see what we have in our stash to go along with that. All right. And our third and final type of card is our challenge cards, and these are getting a little low. We haven't flipped them. I think I flipped everything at the beginning of the year, if I recall. But so challenge cards are designed to so they can either help you focus in on a specific theme, or help you apply some sort of a design challenge to your project. And let's see what we have today. So we have to design something inspired by a rodeo. Okay. So that will be our challenge for this week. So, you know, when I think about that, I can think about anything from a rodeo. So I could have horses, I could have clowns, I could have a really dusty, dirty pen. I could have a fence. I could, you know, cowboys, all sorts of things. So that'll be our inspiration. Again, we're going to use a cylinder or multi-strand clasp. We are going to use some sort of fiber or beading thread in our design. We are going to use lava stone in our design. And our design is going to be a necklace. So that's what we will do on Thursday at our normal time. As far as I know, I have no reason why it won't be on time. Hey, Lorraine. So we just did our drawing. Now we're going to spend a little time making a friend for Mr. Skeleton here. So I pulled out a bunch of stuff here, a bunch of pieces and parts, so we can kind of select our design. And it's kind of funny that I drew the rodeo card because we are going to make a cowboy skeleton. These are plastic, but they're super cute. They're little cowboy hats. I got this strand of them at I'm pretty sure it was Hobby Lobby, but I just think those are all sorts of fun. Here's my... And I was just thinking that I might add... I'm not usually into cowboy hats and stuff. I forgot I was going to pull out of our Southwest Metal Mix. We have cowboy boots, so I think I might have to put cowboy boots on my skeleton, since he's going to have a cowboy hat, right? So, what I need you guys to do is help me decide my color scheme here. So I have 3 different colors skeleton heads. We have purple, blue, and white. And then we're gonna have to match a hat to it. So, hey Marianica. So what do you guys think? Should I make a purple, a turquoise, or white skeleton? Anybody have any opinions on that? Yeah, like votes for white. Lorraine votes for purple. What do you think, Janelle? Do you want to do the tiebreaker, or do you want to complicate things and say blue or turquoise? All right. Purple it is. Okay. So, I've got a purple head. And I got a big round to use for his body. So now the question is, what color hat should I put on him? These are my 4 hat colors. The string actually has, I think, 8 hats on it, and they're all different colors. No duplicates, so if you're making earrings. So do you think I should continue with the purple, or should I give him black, pink, or blue hat? Pink for Breast Cancer Month. Okay, I can go with that, because you know what? I've been trying to sneak pink into some of my designs this week, or this month. We'll do pink just for Janelle's got a good point there. All right, so we got his hat, we got his head, we got his body. So since we're doing the pink hat, I got some of these spikes out. Remember, these were in our challenge kit, but I thought they'd make good arms. I originally was going to use them also for the legs, but since since I'm using the cowboy boots, he's got to have boots, right? So I have some, these are purple. It's hard to, it's a darkish purple, but we can use that for his legs. I don't know how long his legs need to be. He's gonna have extra joints in his legs. All right. And then I like to give him shoulders and maybe a little something on the hips just to hold the thing steady. And then we can give him an upper joint in his arm. What do you guys think? Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So now the question is, do I build him from the top down? I think that's the case. I was going to use silver wire, but since we're using gold, what are you there? All right. You know what? I'm actually going to use copper wire because I don't know where my gold 20 gauge wire is. So, all right. So I am going to, like I said, I think I'll build him. We'll build his body first. Now, this has a fairly large hole on top, so I may need to put a, you know, a spacer bead of some sorts. I do have like a clear. We'll see if I need that. All right, so what I like to do when I build skeletons is give them a little structure in for their arms and their hips so that you know, their legs dangle a little off to the side. Here's a much smaller example. So I am going to just cut a couple of pieces that are going to be his hips and his shoulders. And I am going to, you know, do our usual that we do for many of our projects, and we are going to just put a small loop in the middle there. Now, you don't have to give him shoulders and hips if you don't want to, but like I said, I like to do that. So, all right, so I am going to string these on. So this would be his hips, then his body. I think one of the hardest things about making skeletons is finding a cute body bead, right? All right, then his shoulders and his head and his hat. How's that? That's pretty fun, huh? All right. So the question is, still I need a smallish spacer bead. I have some. There's some small silver beads, but that's what I have handy. So we're gonna put a small bead on top. And then we're gonna make a loop so we can have the option of hanging our skeleton. So I'm thinking my little cowboy skeleton can hang out in my cactus garden. What do you guys think? Marianica, I saw your Halloween decorations. That was nice. We haven't really put much outside. One of the local restaurants around here is having a special dinner on Halloween. It's going to be a pirate-themed dinner. All right. His hat apparently is going to lay kind of low over his head. So here's what we have. For this guy. And then, so I need to kind of lock these things in place. So I am going to, you know, kind of hold this stuff. And then I am going, she's not working there. I am going to wrap up the back. And I think I'm not going to go his head because I don't want to go around the hat. So we'll just do a couple of loops around here. Okay. And we'll tighten that in there. So I should pay attention to what I'm doing here. Okay. This is wrapped around his chin. And then I am just going to tuck that in so it doesn't hurt anybody. As always, I have to use my needle nose to get in there. All right, so here's what we got so far. So I'm using these little teardrop shaped beads, and the reason I like to use those for things like this is they snuggle in between the beads there. And then I am just going to do a loop so that one of my favorite rolled loops. You guys all know I love to use those on my things. And in this case, that's what I'm going to hook the rest of his arm to. So I can go forwards or backwards, but you know, I just want to make sure I go the same direction on both. Or for that matter, I could even roll it up. Maybe I'm going to do that. So I am just taking my round pliers and I am twisting until I get that bead snuggled up there. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So you want about, I kind of eyeball it, but you want about a 1/2 inch when you're doing your rolled loop. Otherwise it gets a little too thick. I mean, it's not the end of the world. You'd rather have it too thick than too thin, okay? Because you want to be, you want to make sure it ends up being a closed loop, because so it has to go more than once around. And if it gets loose, then you just tighten it up, right? All right. Now we're going to do the same thing for his hips. I might we have a lot of October birthdays too. My husband's is the early one though. But our nephew's was last week, and our niece's is next week. And then I have a ton of friends with October birthdays. But all right, and again, I am just looping these. Careful not to overlap your wire. You want it to be next to it. So apparently I cut my wires a little long, but that's okay. Like I said, we can trim. All right, so now he has his joints. Let's see what we I think I'll do the arms first. So again, I was going to use, it'd be nice if these were a little thinner, but they're not, but it's okay. My guy will just have big arms. What do you think? Should he just have? Oh, well, congratulations to your husband. That's wonderful. All right. I'm going to twist those guys. I think he needs an upper part of his arm, but the question is that too long of an arm? You can have long arms, right? All right, since I'm using these beads that, are drilled that way, we need to take care of that first. So I'm going to put my bead on there. Now I could certainly, I could do either way. I could hook it. That might be easier. You can either hook it first to here or first to here. So You just need to decide which direction, whether the bigger end of the bead is up at his shoulder or the thinner end. I'm making the bigger bead his shoulder, and I think I'm going to hook it onto his shoulder first. So I don't need a huge loop here. So it's just a little harder when you have to work with the whole thing here. Yeah, I want the arms to move, so. All right, I'm using my pliers to do my wrap because I did cut that kind of short, but as long as it goes all the way around. And now that's gonna have to hook into this bead. So I need a fairly large loop or a triangle. So I am gonna actually just cut some wire here so that I can all right, I'm gonna try using like the biggest part on here and see if that'll, it may be too big, but we can always make it smaller. And let's hang that. And I might have to to allow that to dangle, I might have to actually make this sort of a triangle in here. I hadn't really thought about it. All right, so see, you know, I use these as challenge beads, and they are a bit of a challenge. These end up being longer than I wanted it to be, so I'm going to try to move it up closer. I know you guys can't see it, but I'm trying to give it a flat area on there so that it can move, but it may not move much. All right, we'll see how this works, and it'll give me an idea that maybe on the second arm I'm gonna do the bottom part first before I hook it to the body here. All right, let's see. All right. Well, he's got really long arms, but but the good news is I'm going to give him long legs too, right? Yep, those are kind of long arms. All right, let's see if we can. Oh, thank you, Lorraine. I like playing with this, but I'm thinking my bead here is a little. It's a little big, so. All right, let's try putting this on first this time. So I think this will be better, because then what I can do is, you know, you just bend it up, and it can have a little movement here. See, by kind of making a triangle. which I don't, I don't want too much room there because I don't want him to have really long arms, but his other arm is really long, so. I have not, I made these other skeletons, a couple years ago. I just thought it would be fun to make a little cowboy skeleton today. All right, I think that was a little better. So, lessons learned, put this on first. Okay. You guys do a great job on your sculptures. I'm always happy to see what everybody's accomplished. All right. And now we can slide that one on there. Yeah, that first arm, I don't know, we'll see. If it's too stiff, I might have to reattach it. I hate to have to do things over, but, sometimes you do. Although his arm is dangling pretty good right now. All right. I'm going to trim that because it's giving me a hard time. Alrighty, now our skeleton has arms. Woo! They move around. All right, let's give him. He's got to have his boots now, right? So now the question is, do I give him? I guess since his arms are so long, I should give him pretty long legs. What do you think? So the question is, should I just do one bead in a boot or 2 beads in a boot? Let's see if I can. Zoom that in a little bit. All right. 1 bead or 2 beads for his leg? Extra beads on the legs. Okay. All right. So then the other thing is, do I give him 3 sections that move, or all right, everybody says 2 beads. I think I'm just going to give him 2 joints, though. I'll just make that a long bead. So, all right, so I'm going to take those, and then we are going to attach our boot. sure it can swing around. And let's all right. So there's a leg. So let's make a loop so we can attach that to his hip bone. And again, I'm going to use a little bigger circle, or a little bigger loop, so that it can swing around. And I will fix his boots so they're going in opposite directions once we get him assembled. This is the nice thing about these boot charms is they're double-sided. So. A little bit off of there. All right. Yeah, he's got some long legs, but you know, some of those cowboys have really long legs, right? You know? I think part of it's because they're so beat up from all their injuries. I know Marianica has been to the rodeo a couple times down here. We have rodeo in the, was it February? Usually through here, although they had another one recently. But Lorraine and Janelda, have you guys ever go to the rodeo? When I was a kid growing up in Colorado Springs, I was in the band, or in the community band, and we used to play at the rodeo. That was such a mess here, but yeah, this guy does have long arms, so I guess he can have long legs too. Yeah, rodeos, it's they're not for everybody. I like seeing the you know, like the barrel races and the sorting exercises and stuff there, you know, where they separate cows and then they get them herded so they can separate them for whatever they need to separate them for. But the bronco and bull riding is kind of interesting too. But yeah, we went to the one in, my husband had never been to the rodeo, so we went to the one in Denver. We have not gone to the one here, although I went to one here years ago with my family when I was visiting, but it wasn't the big, it was a smaller town's rodeo. It wasn't the big Tucson. They even let the kids out of school for the rodeo here. All right, I think we did get it. He does have really long legs and arms. Oh well. That's half the fun, right? I don't know if I can just get his hat in his head to go. Yeah, Denver rodeo is pretty big. Oh, is that why you go Marianica is for the Cowboys? All right. Let's see if we can get a... Oh, that's his... He keeps turning around. Well, I don't know if they have in Massachusetts. You guys have lots of horse-related things not too far from there. Pennsylvania and a beer belly cowboy. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that... He's kind of fun. He's got his boots and his hat, and he wiggles. So, all right, well, okay, that was our fun project. I'll have to take a picture of him. Yeah, his belly's a little flat. I thought like this big cylinder bead might make an interesting belly for these guys, but it's always fun to look for different things. Alrighty. Let's flip this guy over. Alright, well, thanks for joining me for my cowboy skeleton. Has bubble wrap apparently everywhere on my floor here. My office is a complete disaster. But, alright, let's see if we can make him dangle a little. See his legs dangle. I might have to hang him on I have a little Halloween it's sort of a candle holder, but it also has it's a tree, so I hang things on it. So all right. Oh, where did I get the hats? The hats I got them at Hobby Lobby. I believe it was, like I said, you get 8 and they're all colors of the right, so it's, well, I showed you those 4, and then it has, I know you guys will be shocked that I didn't use this one that's kind of a teal green. Anyways, they're very cute. Yeah. So yeah, my dancing skeleton. All right, sorry, I'm having too much fun now, huh? Don't watch my lips. I'm sorry, it's off. That's weird because I rebooted everything before I got on. So anyways, all right, I'll be back on Thursday for this week's project, which is a necklace using lava stone. I'll cover my lips. Fiber or beading thread, a multi-strand or cylinder, and rodeo inspiration. You guys know I have hats now. And hopefully we will be on Wednesday with Stars Beads, and I will post those details once I have them. Like I said, if not, we will do our prickly pear make along on next Sunday. Oh no, I forgot, next Sunday's TGBE, isn't it? We'll figure it out, okay? Maybe if it doesn't work out for Wednesday, we'll just do it on Wednesday anyways. All right, I'll put something out though. We'll see. Because yeah, I forgot, next weekend's TGBE. So I know a lot of you will be watching that, and I like to watch along with that too. So anyways, I will post something. Like I said, I will get those sun catcher ornaments, whatever you want them to be. Unfortunately, I have all this stuff across the room. I will get those, the advertisement and the prices up. Like I said, I think the 2 Swarovski sun catchers are going to be like $20 to $22. I have to double check my numbers on that. And then the other one, the little prickly pear ones, I think I was going to do around 16 for the pair. I actually do have oh, actually, I said in my my cheat sheet here, I said around 12 to 15 for the pair of prickly pears, but I will finalize that and get that out there so that you can order. And like I said, I think I'll run a little bit of a sale through the end of October. And then I'm sure I'll run a Good Friday sale or Black Friday sale at, not Good Friday, Black Friday. And get into the holidays. But, yeah, we'll get those out there. Thanks again for watching. Again, if you want to follow up on any of these videos, they are posted on YouTube. I think I haven't posted Thursdays yet, but I need to do that. Like I said, the birthday celebrations have thrown me a little off this week because we've been doing other things. But I will get right on that and get those posted so that I can get them out to you guys, and you guys can have a little fun and be ready for the holidays as well. All right, please, if you haven't already, like and follow us on follow Desert Cat Creations on Facebook and Instagram, and subscribe to us on YouTube. Once again, thanks again for subscribing to YouTube, and at some point we are going to test broadcasting on both of them at the same time. So my only hesitation is because I have to use my computer, which means I have to have a place nearby for it to be set up. So that's why I haven't finished getting that out there. So, all right. Thanks again. I hope you guys have a great Sunday. I'm sure I will see you all around the other places in Facebook this week. So, talk to you soon. Bye.